I would like to ask my question in Portuguese, if that's possible. If possible, my name is Bianca and I am a correspondent for Globo News. Globo is the main television network in Brazil. A question about Venezuela. Yesterday, you thanked President Nicolás Maduro for all his efforts, including his participation in BRICS. But Brazil is against it. And I would like to know, which side is Russia on? Can Venezuela join BRICS even against Brazil's will? And a question about Ukraine. You also thanked Brazil and China for their efforts in resolving the political path to the conflict in Ukraine. I would like to ask, on a scale from 1 to 10, what are the chances you see that the peace plan will be successful in Ukraine, and what is absolutely unacceptable for you from your point of view? Thank you.
Абсолютно недопустимо для вас с вашей точки зрения. Спасибо.
Первое, что касается шансов, вы знаете, мне сложно.
The first thing, regarding the chances, it's difficult for me. I believe it's even inappropriate to mention any numbers or scores from 1 to 10. Partly because I don't want to be rude. But here's the fact of attempts to start negotiations, and then the refusal of these attempts. Well, as I said, a high-ranking representative from Turkey called us directly from New York, and before that, it was the same. Before that, Turkey also initiated discussions about the situation in the Black Sea, ensuring freedom of navigation, safely, to talk and reach certain agreements and arrangements regarding the safety of nuclear energy facilities. And we agreed. But then the head of the Kiev regime publicly stated, no negotiations.
А потом глава киевского режима публично заявил, никаких переговоров. Мы тоже нашим турецким друзьям сказали, вы слушайте.
We also told our Turkish friends, well, listen, sort it out there. You offer us something based on their reference. We agree. And then we hear a refusal the next day. How are we supposed to understand this? They just shrugged. Well, that's how it is. Such complex partners. That's why I say, it's very difficult to rate partners on a scale from 1 to 10. The behavior of the Ukrainian leadership today is very irrational. Believe me, I'm speaking about what I know. I won't give any other assessments right now. For example, I believe that even their provocations in the Kursk direction are related to attempts to interfere in the internal political situation and the electoral process in the United States. They want to show the current administration and the voters of this party at all costs that their investments in Ukraine were not in vain. At all costs, and at any price, including the lives of their soldiers, they work for them, not for the interests of the Ukrainian people. Therefore, it's very difficult, almost impossible, to evaluate in any kind of points. Now, regarding Brazil's assessment of what is happening in Venezuela, we know these assessments. Our positions do not align with Brazil on the issues of Venezuela. I am speaking about this openly.
По вопросам Венесуэлы я говорю об этом открыто. Мы говорили об этом по телефону позавчера.
We talked about this on the phone the day before yesterday with the president of Brazil, with whom I have very good, I believe, friendly relations. Venezuela is fighting for its independence, for its sovereignty. I remember once the opposition leader, after the previous elections, went to the square, looked up to the sky, and said that he considered himself the president before God. Funny, right? And then we discussed this situation with the leadership of the United States. Well, they supported and still support the opposition, but they modestly kept silent, smirked, and that's it. It's clear that this is absurd, isn't it? Anyone there can go out, look up to the sky, and declare themselves anything, including the Pope.
Глаза к небу поднять и объявить себя кем угодно, в том числе и Папой Римским. Но так же не бывает, так не должно быть. Существуют определенные...
But it doesn't work that way. It shouldn't be like that. There are certain electoral procedures. Go to the elections, win. We believe that President Maduro won the elections, won fairly. He formed a government, and we wish success to his government and the Venezuelan people. But I really hope that Brazil and Venezuela will sort out their bilateral relations through discussions. I know President Lula as a very decent, honest person, and I am sure that he will approach this situation from such positions, from an objective standpoint. and he asked me to convey some words to the president of Venezuela during our phone conversation.
Венесуэла в ходе нашего телефонного разговора. Надеюсь, что ситуация будет выравниваться.
I hope the situation will stabilize. As for the admission of Venezuela or any other state into BRICS, I want to say that it is only possible with consensus. We have a rule that in order to accept any candidate into this organization, into the BRICS association, the agreement of all participants is required. Without this, such a step is impossible. Thank you very much. Please don't be upset. My colleagues are waiting for me at a bilateral meeting.